There is a 60-years-old man whose head is made of iron, and he can break it with a brick without any pain. He has a brother who has hardened his body by beating it with iron rods that nothing affects his body. Their sister's shriek can startle everyone. Hearing her laugh causes people to lose their eardrums. She breaks 5 glasses every day and practices her throat. Since their childhood, Iron Head and his siblings have been trained in this dangerous kung fu. Their abilities were valued as children, but as they grew older, people lost interest in them. Their skill was no longer useful to them because they no longer have a job or money. Likewise, Iron Head was in debt and concerned about it. People come to their house one day to take a loan and take all the valuables from the house. One of them picks up the Iron Head certificate and says, "What is the point of those pointless tasks?" and makes fun of them. Iron Head was concerned about his life and now wishes to alter it. Then he moves to find work at the age of 60. While leaving, he notices a few people who are giving money to each other while standing on the road. While looking at the money, he thinks, "So much money," and it was a gangsters group. Iron Head decides to move behind them and reach their home while chasing them. They do their job, but Iron Head is thrown out. Their boss pulls him aside and says, "Stop it, let me hear what Uncle has to say." When they learn that Iron Head wants to join their group, they burst out laughing. That this elderly gentleman will join their group. Even Iron Head requests at least a chance to demonstrate his strength, but they ignore him and throw him out. He has returned home. Iron Head was an honest man, and his daughter comes to meet him at night. He doesn't even tell his daughter that he is in trouble and needs money. The next morning, Iron Head sees them again and willingly pulls in front of their car. He has an accident, and they are scared, so they take him to their boss. Now that their boss has seen his passion, he finally gives him a chance. He says, "You must bring money from a wealthy businessman to prove yourself who has borrowed from us." Now Iron Head goes to that businessman, who was eating with a man in the restaurant. Meanwhile, Iron Head approaches him and asks for money. He refuses to give money, and because Iron Head spit on his food, the businessman hits his head with a glass bottle in anger. Nothing could harm Iron Head. When he hits 10 to 12 bottles on his head, people begin to curse that businessman. Getting irritated from all this, the businessman hands over his credit card. They are overjoyed when Iron Head brings money to that gang and the boss gives him a 30% commission. When one of the boss's companions notices his appreciation for Iron Head, he becomes envious. He tried to provoke the boss, but he ignored him, and now Iron Head is working for them. Similarly, he becomes wealthy in a month and even he purchased all new items for his home. He didn't tell his siblings or even his master about this job because he knows if they find out, he won't be able to do these evil tasks. He has to take money from a man named Bao one day. He hits the bottle on his head and asks for money while frightening him. Bao doesn't have money and he gives him a small amount. Now he goes to his boss while taking money and the money who was jealous of him says this is a small amount. Our rule is that we take the complete amount. Now when they all say ill to him he says I will bring money within 3 days. Then he leaves while saying this, but while returning home at night a few people beat him on the way. They also tear the paper of the loan so he will not be able to bring money from Bao within 3 days. They were all the boss's friends who were envious of him. The following day, he returns to Bao and asks for money while touching his feet. People who were watching him do this began to curse Bao. Bao becomes irritated by everyone and smashes a brick on his head in the style of Iron Head. His head begins to bleed as a result of it, and upon seeing this, he cleans blood from his head, thinking how disgusting the task I am performing for money is. While sitting in a distant car, the boss and his companion were spying on Iron Head. Now the boss suspects him, but he instructs his men to wait 3 days and then we'll see. Iron Head's siblings pay a visit to his home in the evening and discover, while looking at the new things in his house, how he acquired all of this. People with whom he works lend money to the poor and then demand double the amount in return. They say you used your training in the wrong job, and now Iron Head is embarrassed by what his siblings have said. He has thrown the money on the table and declared, "I will not do this now." Now, seeing the large sum, his siblings have become greedy, and they have joined him in this job, scaring people and stealing money from them. They make a lot of money in an hour. Now that Bao has left, they must take money from him. The siblings sit at his home and demand money. He tells them he doesn't have any money, so they advise him to sell his house. Bao ignores them, but Iron Head's sister continues to speak in a loud voice for 2 days, "Give us money." So he becomes irritated and sells his house to pay them. Due to it, the boss becomes happy from them and scolds his old companions who were suspecting him. Now the boss has given job to Iron Head's siblings and they were earning a lot of money while using their skills and spending a luxury life. Iron Head's head boss comes to meet him on his birthday and tells him now we will give loan to the college students. We will tease them if we will not get the loan back, but Ironhead wasn't agree on it and can't say anything because of the fear of his boss. After a few days they were trying to take the money back while teasing a girl, and the girl was compelled as she has no money to return. Ironhead doesn't like this because they were asking the girl to stay with the boss. He doesn't want to get stuck in all this, so he moves on a boat with his family. There he meets Bao's family, and his daughter says to Ironhead's grandson that you are responsible for this condition, and the kid becomes enraged hearing this. He throws a bottle at that girl in anger, but Ironhead comes in between. Today for the first time he felt pain when something hits his head, and his head bleeds as well. He was considering this the result of his evil tasks and gives money to Bao's mother to purchase a house. He tells his boss that he is leaving this job, and surprisingly, the boss agrees with him easily. The story was something else, that was, the gangster has kidnapped the grandson of Ironhead. He becomes furious at this and they reach the boss's house with guns. The boss and his companions get scared to see the guns in their hands, but mistakenly, Ironhead's sister drives a gun. Due to it, they discover the guns are fake. That's why the boss and his companions capture them and blackmail them for making videos of those girls. As they were asking the girl to stay with the boss, but Ironhead refuses for this. They point gun at Ironhead to shoot him. Meanwhile, the police arrive, who discover everything about this gang. They arrest the gang and then released all the girls from there. At the end of the film, Ironhead and his siblings swear an oath to abandon all evil tasks. The film concludes with a positive change in them.